wireless mics are really fat. So, Bree, do you have my other? Oh, there it is. They put it back. Never hand your mic to the tech person and just let them walk away. I was like, yeah, that was supposed to be the... Could you hear the flutes? All right, yeah. So those flutes, they're bamboo transverse flutes, which are called, we call them kue, but they're also called yokobue or shinobue, and they are designed to be very high pitched. They can be heard over the drums. That was Sonia and Jen. Jen, by the way, has helped. We're helping to build a group down in Sierra Vista, and she's got a kids group down there that she's leading at Sierra Vista now. Started at Village Meadows Elementary. Where's Jen? There's Jen. So we're trying to bring taiko to the entire part of southern Arizona. All right, that was Rakucho. The next song we're going to do is called Matsuri. Matsuri is... Does anyone have a hoppy coat on? Rachel. Rachel, could you turn around? This character on the back of the hoppy coats that are being worn by our community group members is the character for Matsuri. Okay, you can turn back around now. And I like to point out that the bottom part of this, I just learned this recently, is the bottom part of that Matsuri character is an altar, which is offering, because when you, Matsuri means festival, but obviously when you're having a festival, you are usually celebrating something, often a harvest or good weather or summer. So part of that character built into it, or has built into it, the altar idea of offering. So Matsuri means festival, and there are a lot of rhythms that you'll hear in the next song that are pretty archetypal. I've found that the Matsuri or festival rhythms that you hear in Japan can actually be played with anything from samba to blues. They're very kind of age-old rhythms that speak to almost all cultures. Matsuri. Are you hydrating enough? You gotta drink 3 times as much water as you think you need. Seriously. Alright, that was Matsuri. Our next song is very, very special because we are going to feature the new students from our all ages recreational Taiko class. What? You mean you could learn Taiko here in Tucson? Yes, you can. We offer classes. In fact, we cleverly timed our next class to begin next Saturday. It's a 5-week session where you will get basic rudiments of Taiko and you'll learn one of the songs from our beginner repertoire. These students who are in the t-shirts here have finished at least one all ages recreational Taiko class, and they're going to perform the song that they learned in this last 6-week session called Honen Daiko. Please give them the most support you can. This is many of them the first time they performed. Honen Daiko.
Oh!
Just going to introduce these tiny little cymbals. They're called chapa. So there's a variety of other instruments that we play with the drums. The fue, the transverse flute that you just saw earlier. The chapa. There's also something called the kane, which is sort of like a Japanese cowbell. It's very loud. There's sometimes people play shamisen, and you know, some of you may be wondering now what these guys are doing. No, I'm just kidding. What these guys are doing on stage. So I've told you that what we do is taiko. You can show them the other taiko. And so some of you have seen this before, but bear with me. So we do the art form of taiko. Taiko literally means broad drum or fat drum or great drum. But our name is Odaiko Sonora. I'm going to tell you about that. This little letter, O, is an honorific. That means when we put it in front of another word, like kane is money, but okane is very important, like your money, our money. So when I put the O in front of taiko, you probably think this way. Yeah, somebody should put like an up sign, up this side up on the O. So I put the O in front of taiko, and you have taiko, which means big, fat, honored drum. I put the O in front of it, and it means really, really honored, big, fat drum. It's also not actually a word, because what happens when you put the O in front of a word in Japanese, it makes the T soft, and you end up with Odaiko. Odaiko. So Odaiko usually refers to the largest drum in our stable of drums. It is the biggest, most honored drum in our stable. The other part of our name is Sonora, which hopefully all of you know what that means. It's the state in Mexico on the border just south of us. It's also the name of the desert region that we live in, which, interestingly enough, if you've studied your Latin roots, I'm sure you all have, right? Latin root. Sonorous, sonar, sonora, all the same Latin root. It means that the name of our desert comes from the whispering sands. So that's Odaiko Sonora. That is why we are called Odaiko Sonora. We wanted to be the biggest, fattest drum group in the Sonoran Desert region. So thank you to my lovely assistants. So now you understand about why we call ourselves this. And that brings me to introducing the drum that we just talked about. You just heard a little bit of it, but we're going to feature it in this next piece called Tai. Now we've just had a little conflict there with Shutsuji, gone up to the front, had a victory with Kachidoki. So now we are going to test the villagers' perseverance. Tai means perseverance. This song is an excerpt from a piece by Toshi Watanabe, which I learned in Portland in 2004, and we've arranged it for the stage and to feature our gecko, or our moonlight drum, today for you all. So one of the things that, you can go to war like we just did with Shutsujin and Kachidoki, or you can do it old Japanese style, which is, instead of going to war, there were two villages. This is the story that we tell when we do the Odaiko contest. There was a river with villages on either side of the river, and one year there was a drought, and there was clearly not enough water for both villages. And they thought about going to war over the resources that water that the river provided. But instead of, they were friends. They'd been doing a lot of work together. They had trade. They'd even had marriages across the river. So they didn't want to go to war and kill each other. But they knew that one of the villages had to move. So what they did was they found the strongest person in each village. and they put them, each of them, on an Odaiko, and they played. And they played all day, and they played through the night, and they played through the second day, and they played into the second night. And the third day, one of the players collapsed out of exhaustion. And that village packed up and moved. And so the village that had the Odaiko player that was still standing got to stay and use the water at the river. So this is the legend of the Odaiko. It really is about one person, one drum, and testing your stamina, your perseverance, and your heart. Ning Tai.